Hi, everyone, and welcome you to our webinar session. And today we have a special guest. It is Integra layer, Integra blockchain. And today with us, the Shreya. Shreya is head of marketing in Integra and will be together with us. And today we will speak about the real world assets, about the real estate tokenization, about Stobox Compass, the product that we launched just several days ago, and our mutual collaboration between Stobox and Integra during their Integra testnet that is currently live, and the Integra layer will be fully live soon. So I think that it is a great momentum to share what Integra built so far, what Stobox have prepared with its featured product, and let's move on. So together with me today is Jean Diev. Jean is the main founder and chief executive officer in Stobox, and I'm Ross Shemoliak. I'm the co-founder and chief operational officer at Stobox. So welcome, Jean. Welcome, Shreya.
Hello, Shreya. First of all, thanks for being with us today. Thanks, Ross, for the kickoff and the introduction. Today, Shreya will speak on absolutely amazing shift in the blockchain. It's not about the chain itself, but it's also about how agentic will actually help issuers and investors and help scale the blockchain to our new agentic era. So we're very keen in um, listening to Shreya. She'll absolutely have a lot to say on their development. So Shreya, welcome. Thanks for being with us, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, Ross and Jean. Thank you so much for taking this initiative. I think there's a lot happening in this space, at least with tokenization and RWAs and even real estate. And I think a few folks are really vocal about, the shift and, how times are changing. So this is a really good initiative. And we're absolutely glad to be so close to Stobox. We've been close, I think, from the time we were at Polytrade. So yeah, absolute pleasure to be here. I'm going to introduce myself. I've been very close to both the teams. I work at Polytrade, which is an RWA marketplace. We started off in 2021, and then in 2024 and 5 we worked on this adventure which was called Integra. It's been almost a year to that. One of the core contributors to Integra, and today we'll talk about, I think, the largest asset class on earth, which is real estate, and how we've also evolved to be embracing the times where everything is led by agents, and everything is autonomous and agentic in nature. Real estate, I think, is the asset class that also deserves to have the same speed. Yeah, so I'll take it forward. So I think most people tuning in today are already, familiar with Stobox and, their efforts in real estate and tokenization especially. And I think you guys already understand how difficult it is that if you try to buy like a fraction of building in let's say Dubai, or like take a loan against a tokenized land in Singapore, or maybe let an agent negotiate a property deal, you will for sure be hit by paperwork. You'll have some manual intermediaries and some fragmented systems that have literally not changed in decades. It's still the same slow processes, and there is no autonomy to it. And I guess that's the biggest gap Integra is built to close. We're not really tokenizing. I mean, we're tokenizing, but not just tokenizing documents. It's not just like an NFT which is being tokenized, or some shares or tokens that are being tokenized. We've literally built a full agentic infrastructure where the tokenization layer and the liquidity layer, all of that makes real estate more programmable. It makes it more AI readable, and it's also liquid in nature. And today, this opportunity of doing it with Stobox, I think I'm gonna walk you through what it actually takes to bring a real property on chain in 2026, especially in these times, and how it's actually happening at Integra. And I think Stobox will also follow with the same, taking you guys through the entire journey. I guess, yeah, I'm good to proceed from here. If you have
Shreya, I would
any.
like here to add one thing, and it's for our listeners. I think it's very important because, okay, businesses tokenize their assets, but we should understand that with an upcoming era of AI, a tokenized asset is the only, I mean, anything tokenized is compatible with AI. So unless it's tokenized, it's not compatible. You cannot manage the asset with an AI unless it's tokenized. So that's why we also kind of see that shift moving from now two directions. It's not just the tokenization, which has a lot of benefits, a lot of um, its elements to this and brings efficiency, cost reduction, but actually tokenization allows agents to operate with real estate. And this is where actually those two big narratives merge. And this very interesting world that we plan to live in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shreya, try to move the mouse under the text of 20 plus dApps and let me know if you see the slider under the
No,
text of.
I cannot. I
Mm,
cannot.
okay, so you can tell me next slide and I will scroll down.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Before I move to the rest of how I want to take this through, I'd also like to say that we launched testnet last month. It's, I think, not been a month too since the time we launched, and the response has been incredible. I think they were really overwhelmed by the amount of embracing that we've got from all of the community members. It's a 200K community now who's been running our testnet. So many dApps. So it's been incredible to see how people are actually also embracing this at the same time. So yeah, I guess, yeah, I think I can start with the problem statement in hand, at why we built Integra and what's the problem at hand in real estate right now. I think most of it I would probably put it to AI. That AI models are extraordinarily capable now. You've seen the tremendous growth in the last 6 months. They are now able to read contracts. They can run valuations. They can, kind of simulate any negotiation strategies as well. But if you see, what they cannot do is act on real estate, because the infrastructure underneath this entire ecosystem, it was never built for machines, right? We never knew that real estate as an asset class will be explored by AI, although we should have been prepared. But yeah, what AI I think needs is very simple. It needs tokenized assets. It can interact on maybe even verifiable programmable data that it can trust, and permissionless execution that Rails can use, and at the same time real time financial state that it can monitor, right? What real estate actually has today is just paper deeds and registries which are private. They're unstructured data sets, and the data refresh for them is like periodic, which is really slow. And then you have so many intermediaries behind every step, gatekeepers at every step, that it's just impossible for any kind of AI to step into that boundary. And I also think the bottleneck is not the AI model; it is the infrastructure, obviously. And what you see at Integra, we've built everything which the AI needs in order to interact with real estate. It needs all of the things that I mentioned, and they're currently on the screen as well. To solve this, we've put it all together in an infrastructure which is agentic in nature. The foundational products that you see on Integra right now are led by the asset passport, which I'll show you later. Creating a passport live. and a global order book, which is ensuring that there's seamless distribution and liquidity around all of the real estate assets and across markets. And we've also built an agentic arena, which lets lets you deploy agents, and you just sit and you let them do the work. That's the entire thing that we've built. Ross, can you help me with the next slide, please?
Sure.
Yeah, so this full stack infrastructure, which we've created to make sure that AI drives real estate. It has first the agentic infrastructure, which I was talking about. This is where the agents live and they work. They work for real estate, and these are agents that you can deploy on Integra for valuation. You can deploy them from due diligence, and also for trading. These agents have their own identity, and the settlement layer is wired ERC 8004, and the asset pass and they also have an agent passport, so that's their working mechanism. So this means that AI can actually read, decide, and execute all autonomously. There's no human intervention required. Of course, you can give them permissions as much as you want them to have autonomy. The second in this ecosystem is tokenization. Integra has a $12 billion pipeline, and 250 million on-chain capital formation, which we're expecting annually. And we already have 50 plus dApps that are building on the network, and these are all solutions that are powering real estate and the functions of it. And we're also working on a native stablecoin, which is called the iUSD. This ecosystem was seeded at day one. You've seen it on testnet. It's going to be on the mainnet. The third layer of this is the interconnectivity layer. The asset passport, which is the crucial wheel, kind of stitching all of this. This kind of brings asset data and attestations directly into the Integra Explorer. We do not like to call it an explorer because it's way beyond an explorer. It's actually a living, data feed which has information about all of your assets, not only on chain that you see with regular explorers like Etherscan. It has more data and insights about a particular asset that any investor at this point needs. It's not like you've minted a token and all you can see is its contract or the transactions, etc. You can see much more. You can see where the asset is located, what size is the asset. You can see more documents, legal documents. You can request for attestations. All of that is kind of functional with the asset passport. The is also behind powered by an iRWA standard, which we call is a universal wrapper for any ERC token. And also a backbone of this is the global order book, which also again is for liquidity, connecting every marketplace, the broker, and any distribution venue out there was working with Integra or without Integra and wishes to kind of come to the real estate side of things. We've made it for it. And I think this all of this together kind of comes together to create a venue where AI agents for the first time can interact with real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So our agentic stack under the hood, how it works is you can see the agent readable infrastructure, which means every asset has an asset passport. We already have, I think, about 30,000 asset passports created on the testnet already. This on the mainnet will have live attestations. They will also have Oracle data. They will have the financial state. All this is all going to be machine readable, and not just PDFs. Right now, if you see, even with the on-chain assets, you either have to download those PDFs via platforms who've tokenized them, or read about them on some page, etc. The iRWA wrapper that we have, this will create the shared real estate data surface across the whole network, so you'll be able to interact with information more seamlessly. In the middle is the agentic workflows. These are valuation agents. These are due diligence bots, if you want to say. You can also have rent checkers, or just investor relation automation for your investor base or aggregated investors. And critically, an open framework with Agent Arena, which I mentioned earlier, where third party developers can also build and deploy their own AI agents on top of Integra. And the final is the settlement and the identity layer, which I spoke about in the last slide as well. This kind of is compliance aware execution, so every transaction respects jurisdiction and automatically without a human in loop, so it's all aware about compliance. And this is the same place where our stable coin comes into play as well for on-chain settlement. Lastly, what makes Integra unique? It's four things. We're not really another RWA tokenization project. We want to give real estate an identity and also uh, a place to catch up with the latest technologies. It's not outdated. It's not on paper anymore. And this did not exist 2 years ago. We never thought, AI could, amalgamate so much into blockchain that it'll be an essential infrastructure for everybody. And we have the testnet live. We've shipped applications. We've got some external validators who are working with us. And there's again the real numbers, which is the 12 billion pipeline that we have, and $5 million in annual rotation that we are expecting after mainnet. And we'll make sure that there are more opportunities, I think, for tokenized real estate, as well as there's more of the world, I guess, tokenized, because right now it kind of exists. It's in different forms. It's lying actually without distribution on different platforms. Not having a single network. I think our uh, vision has always been to kind of aggregate as much as possible, so you have the best of all opportunities. It's not like you have to have a wealth manager to sort it out for you, or you'll have to manually scout such opportunities. It's built for participation. We've tried to make the test net also very inclusive, so users are used to kind of this ecosystem, and they don't have to put in like a lot of effort into knowing how tokenization works, or how easy it is to go through the entire process. And I think, yeah, this is what we like to call it internally. This is the first dedicated infrastructure for real estate, at least for asset supply as well as for the coordination of these assets. I'll just quickly show you guys how minting the asset passport works. If you had to do it real time, just a
Sure, we
second.
can.
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Yep. Heading to the stage.
Yeah. So you go to the website, you connect your wallet, you're there. You can actually go to the create an asset. You can create like an iRWA token for yourself. You can choose what kind of asset you have. You can enter information where the asset is located. Interestingly, you can actually create like an own asset passport for your own property, the house you live in. It deserves to be on chain. You can put the size of the asset. You can describe what the asset is. You can maybe describe how it looks like, what's its condition. Is it tokenized? Is it fractionalized already? Anything probably an investor would want to know, mostly about yield. And that's what people care about when they're investing into real estate. So you can put it all here. I'll just fast forward this. Yeah. Then you can choose how many shares you want to create of this asset passport. You can name your symbol as well. You can set a valuation. This is an IRL, which is our native token. And you can also price it per share, which is in USDI, which is the stable coin that Integra has. And you can price it accordingly, and then you can wait for AI to do its magic for your passport. It'll give you a nice image as well. Yep. Not very nice per the description I gave, but yeah, that's the job. And this is live. This is live, and it sits on the Integra Explorer. It's on chain. You can actually go back in time and see, the asset information. I think you can see all the basics here: the valuation, the size, the location, the total supply, etc. people can come buy into your tokenized shares as well. Yeah, that's about it. So that's how
Mhm.
works. I'll quickly also show one second how it looks on the Explorer. So this is the Explorer that I had been talking about. This Explorer does not have information, only limited like it is on Etherscan, but it has more. It has an image, which is really cool here, and it has a category again. It's all the same categories that you minted on the asset passport. But this you can see, and you can see all activity of whether it was interacted on chain or not. This is how the Explorer looks like, and this is the agent arena. This is agents actually deployed who are working 24/7 on their own, negotiating, they're flipping, they're doing all actions on your behalf. It's very easy to deploy an agent. You can just go on deploy agent and kind of select which kind of agent you want. This is seamlessly integrated with all the asset passports that we have, and also the global order book, which has information about all of the assets listed. You can actually list your asset or your token there on the global order book as well. So this is how the ecosystem looks like at our end. I hope it was interesting enough for you to try out. If you want to, you can do it on dashboard.integralayer.com. That's where all activities on testnet lie. And we're open to feedback. If you guys like anything, you can let us know. And we're also looking at kind of integrating this with Stobox. Really excited to see how this goes. Yeah, and thank you so much again for letting us share a bit more about how it works on Integra.
Thank you, Shreya. Amazing. We're looking at the world where people will be able to tokenize their assets and sit and wait till agents will offer those assets, trade those assets, earn the commission on those assets. And this is a very close world nobody anticipated. The Claude appeared on the end of that last year, like as a mainstream, and it's only 5-6 months. And we're already seeing most of the developers looking at the not only applying AI, but agentic development and agentic embedment, which is the next step. So great, thank you. I think that's a definitely next step in the blockchain
Yeah,
development.
yeah, I agree with you. I like your focus on real estate and combining real estate, blockchain, and agentic approach. And it is very complementary in what we do because currently we have um, this timing and this narrative towards AI that everyone needs to catch because otherwise all of us will lose the business, right? That's why we in Stobox we also rebuilding our ecosystem towards AI agentic driven, where you need to run just to stay. So it is what we are, where we are, and all of us towards the AI have this FOMO, fear of missing out, where you vibe coding or like speaking to AI, I don't know, 10 hours per day and still have a feeling that you're missing a lot. That's why it's time to build and deliver.
Yes, good. So let's share something that we're building. And I myself, I'm in the blockchain space till 2017. Back then, there was obviously no acronym of RWA. Everybody was focusing on the utility tokens, right? And at that stage, we kind of envisioned that someday shares or real world assets will be tokenized. And since then, we are building our products, working with the regulators, working with lawyers, and going deep into the subject to actually build pipeline framework, best practices for the businesses to be able to launch a compliant tokenized asset, which would be in most cases a security token. And as probably most of you would know, security tokens are treated a bit differently from just the tokens because they are securities, and therefore there's a certain regulations and legislations built around this term securities. And we in Stobox not only apply technologies or develop technologies, we make sure that we reduce risks for our issuers and make sure that whatever issuers engage with, with new technologies, blockchain, tokenization, they do it within the framework of existing regulations and existing compliance international standards. So let's kick off from idea to tokenized capital raise. Let me just go for the next slide. As I've already mentioned, we've started our journey as a company back in 2018. We've worked with more than 100 different issuers, 100 different cases. Some of them were not successful, some of them were successful in different regions, basically all of the continents, apart from Antarctica, we have our clients. And we were focusing on the different jurisdictions. There is around 20 different jurisdictions that allow tokenization in a compliant manner. We know them all, and we guide our clients there and with respect to them. We've tokenized on the different chains. We haven't built our own chain. That was never our DNA. We've been using, again, Ethereum. Now we're using Arbitrum, and we're waiting for Integra to come up with the main net. And this would be a good point for our issuers, as would be able to supply good quality assets to our partners. And one of our main KPIs is to make sure that the compliant issuance of the asset takes no longer than 8 to 12 weeks, including legal, regulatory, and other elements towards this. Ross, would you like to add anything here on this lovely page? If not, we continue.
Yeah, oh, good. We can move forward.
Perfect. If you look at the technical issuance, then we do understand that it's quite simple, right? You just create a token. But when we look from the business perspective, especially when businesses depend on tokenization, their fundraising activities, or they are regulated within the United States or EU, European zone, which are limited with certain governmental restrictions. It's very important not to fail and not to do any mistakes. And when we were dealing with our customers, this is something that we know, that a lot of cases, a lot of issuers just do it wrong. And the problem is they're not doing it wrong on the tactical side. They're doing wrong on the non-technical, on the starting from choosing a wrong jurisdiction. Or tokenization is maybe a tough process because it requires an issuer to create and assemble different documents, starting from a business plan, a title, verification, audits, and so on. Something, and I'm sure a lot of those things will be able to streamline with AI, but some of these documents, they still need manual and verified approach. And the last, but obviously not least element is a lack of distribution. And this is where we come back to the chicken and egg problem. So investors are looking forward to kind of democratize their investments and look at different asset classes, but they need trust. They need trust in the issuers. They need to know that this issuer is not a scammer. This issuer has a real value, a real asset has real value, and this is where the distribution comes. So our main goal is to increase the quality of assets by onboarding, by putting thoughts into this and doing properly, where our partners on the distribution side, whether it's the brokers, where it's our chain partners like Integra, will take care of the distribution. So our main goal is to bring quality assets to our partners around this emerging industry of RWAs.
Exactly. So I may say that the right setup of your project is one of the backbone of your offering. Because if you skip it and choose the wrong jurisdiction or wrong corporate structure or wrong asset type, then your entire security token offering will fail because it will be not so resilient. That's why we're creating the Stobox Compass as a one window into their RWA that we will discuss in detail.
Absolutely. So we look at this as a backbone of the whole tokenization process. And it's not just about us. We, as a Stobox, and this presentation was done for Stobox presenting points. So that's why we're mentioning here. We have partners around the globe, legal counsels around the world. So if there's something that we don't know, we're exactly right people who know where to find that information from. We're working with a number of legal providers around the world, broker dealers, because if you're looking for the regulated distribution and you focus on, for example, US markets, targeting accredited investors in the United States, the distribution channel is very important. So we work with FINRA qualified broker dealers for the distribution of the assets of our clients. We have, it says MPC infrastructure, which is a very technical term. We have a different set of technologies, whether or not it's custodial technologies, non-custodial, you name it. So sometimes we deliver solutions for our customers, tailored solutions. So we also customize something for them. So I just want to say that we're quite technology agnostic, especially in these days. So we also bring identity into the process, AMLs, anti-money laundering, KYC processes, and this is the parties that we are kind of build around our infrastructure. Audits of any kind and ratings. For example, rating in the biggest agency would be Moody's, and we're working with one of the companies related to Moody's. We're talking about RW ratings. So what it means is that a higher rating there is of an asset, obviously the less risks investor put on themselves. So now it's not only the smart contract or even AI can tell how good is the asset, but also old good quality professional checks on those assets are quite essential. So we also cooperate with the different companies around the world to make sure that our investors and issuers get the best of the best out of this industry.
Yeah, and Shreya, what do you think from your perspective about current issues and challenges in tokenization and real estate? So because you also on the practical level deal with their issues with different real estate asset classes. So what challenges do you see? For example, that tokenization don't that the issuers don't fail at tokenization because about the tech, because it's like about the structuring, it's about their documentation preparation, about the transparency. What do you feel in real estate? What are the challenges?
Yeah, I think issues. I think we've moved past the stage where people are still figuring out how to go about tokenization technically, or what are the levers that they need to go about in order to tokenize like a real estate property. But I think it's more towards the maybe the operational challenges or the tactical challenges, I would say. I think one of the core issues I see is that legal title does not move on chain, and that's the biggest problem. We based out of UAE. We've seen the tokenization pilot that was done last year. Pripco led it. The issue is that the title deed is still not tokenized, and even though the property can have fractions, but it's like the most unsolved problem I see. Although there were talks about the Dubai Land Department kind of bringing in a tokenization vehicle for tokenizing the Akud, which is the pre kind of title document that they have, but we're still far away from it. So I guess the token that represents ownership in an SPV or that holds the title itself is literally impossible to move on chain, and the legal system also does not recognize the token, and holders also have limited recourse over it, right? Excuse me. And I guess until land registries kind of go on chain themselves, there'll always be a gap between the token and the underlying asset. I think the second problem I see is also liquidity, which is assumed and it's not guaranteed. Everybody kind of talks about or says that tokenization can unlock liquidity, but I think just minting a token will not create a buyer. And most tokenized real estate projects also have discovered that secondary market volumes they exist, but they're extremely thin. And you need a critical mass both on the assets and the investor side before that liquidity narrative kind of comes into play and it's real in picture. And I also feel valuation is a bigger challenge to solve because it's not live; it's periodic. It happens once in a year where appraisals happens, and sometimes it's even less. Your token price is based on a stale valuation, and the market will never be able to kind of price it effectively. And for sure, I stay away from this topic, but it's the elephant in the room to be addressed, which is the regulatory fragmentation all around the place. I guess everybody's just working in their own sandboxes and tokenization structures. What works for, let's say, DIFT will not work for somebody in Germany or a regulator in Singapore, right? That's the biggest gray area that the industry needs to solve, right? I guess there are a few more that I can talk about, but yeah, I guess there's also investor protection, which is unclear. If you had to invest in like a traditional REIT, investor rights are well established. They're behind decades of case law and regulation. Tokenization, no, you don't know if the asset manager is incompetent or if there's a dispute between the token holder. There's a lot of technicalities that nobody has answers to, and even the
Mhm.
SPV problem at scale, right? It's a very big issue. Tokenized properties, right now everything that you see which is being tokenized is inside an SPV. That's clean for one asset, but it creates a serious overhead problem if you had to do it at scale. Imagine, you have to manage like 10,000 SPVs, and there's no standardization of this as well. So I guess these are like the core problems I see.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. And you're saying that from background with the UAE and with Dubai, which is one of the most progressive regions, and the adoption of technology is very. But what what shall be talked about this from less advanced. So the last thing you can do is to tokenize a title and then have no legal understanding how to put it back. And we've seen those cases. And this is why for us, and this is quite clear, there's different asset classes, but today the best practice would be to put it in a company in the SPV. It's quite an effective process, and then that SPV issues shares or any uh, corporate certificates. And the same way as a company has asset, right, and then distributes the asset, and the governance is managed within the corporate governance, and the distribution, dividends, and so on. This is the most kind of common way now of tokenizing it through the SPV. This is exactly why we say security tokens, because we cannot. I mean, in the ideal world, you can have the title and it would be a fractional ownership. But because of the problems that you mentioned, the only best practice is to securitize first and then tokenize. At least for now.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah. Guys, coming back to our part of the presentation, and very important, go stobox.io. You'll see big button register and register with stobox.io. That's you'll go to the Stobox Compass. That's the product we recently launched. And because we're mainly focusing on the issuers, especially if you're an issuer, if you're planning to tokenize an asset, that would be your starting point. Because we're less focused on the investor side. But again, as I say, our main objective is to produce quality assets and to shorten the gap between the idea of I would like to tokenize an apartment, but okay, come on. Have you got an apartment, right? There should be some documents stating so. What is the financials? What are the liabilities? So on. So once you come up to the protocol level, to Integra, you'll have that clarity in your projects. This is where we focus on. Again, we're quite product agnostic, but Compass would be your starting point. And building different types of functionalities around, where we have RWA screeners that checks an AI, also embedding AI. AI will check different asset classes and scrap the chains for that. That's understandable. Where we focus is the business projects, or the projects for businesses. So that's the place where you can kick off with your project. You can add your teammates. You'll see a clear roadmap of elements, and you will have our assistance. And this is basically the point from start. So as Shreya just mentioned, she's referring to passport. It's asset passport. It's something that lives on chain, but before it's on chain, it has to live somewhere before. And I would also say it's not something static. It's a very dynamic thing. So you're paying the dividends, you have your expectations, you have full financial audits. So that passport is not something that most probably is static. So it's always enriched with this information. And most of the issuers have no idea what is that about. So this is where we come. This is where Stobox Compass is of a great assistance to our issuers. Let me move to the next slide. Readiness score. Okay, so that's how our issuers usually start, and this is what we bring to as a part of the infrastructure. We developed an AI-driven tool that is able to, by basically asking issuer 25 questions, we pretty much give already average readiness score. How are you ready to tokenize? So before you mint a token, you at least have to have a comprehension from 0 to 100%. Where am I? Right? So, and obviously that's less score, more risk, and more unpreparedness you have within the asset. And we look at this from different angles. A legal structure. Is an SPV place? Where is it's an offshore zone? Is a tax-free zone? I mean, there's a different nuances. Jurisdiction, where you're planning to find investors, where are you targeting? What is the asset class? We just said that most of them would be securities, but also there's a different type of securities. If it's a bond, if it's a hybrid, if it's a corporate note, it's a share. What type of shares? What type of rights should be assigned to this? So that maybe sometimes become a bit tricky. what regulations do you use, and what exemptions do you use? Are you tackling US market? If so, you will have to either have your prospectus validated by Security Exchange Commission or go under exemptions. So, and then documentation, technical readiness. So all of these questions, they're of key importance for the issuer to actually create an asset that investors would be happy to invest. And this is one of our key features of the product. So clients get a result, and from there they understand, okay, what tier am I ready, or what elements should be worked on, and what risks should be mitigated. So if you're looking to tokenize an asset, look at Stobox Compass, and you can start from there. Sorry, I just have a slide. It says documents from offering memo to 38 documents for the broker dealer. Not many of you, I'm sure, know that in order to issue an asset that, for example, a US qualified broker would take and distribute and solicit, and advertise, and sell, we'll be talking about 38 different documents, right? And this is the fact. Starting from the term sheet, offering memorandum, different policies, board resolutions, and there's no best practices. So again, we're using AI in a bit different angle, not on the chain level as Integra does, but also all information assembling part. So those documents are critical for if you as an issuer are looking forward to tokenize to offer in European countries, in UK, for example, under the FCA regime, Singapore, Hong Kong, or United States. So this would be very important documents because there's a very regulated jurisdictions. And we recently launched, we haven't launched yet, but we launched our team to work with a new product. It's called Raisable AI. So the documents that I've just mentioned to you, this is the place where you as an issuer will be able to absolutely align with investors, with the brokers, in terms of documents, gaps elimination, quality of documentation. So if you just have an idea, so look, I would like three commas, that would be the product where you start chatting, evolving, and putting your plans together, putting your business plans, all of the documents together. At the end of the day, you'll have a clear documentation pack for US brokers. And we're talking about this more than 100,000 US brokers in the United States, FINRA regulated. And when we talk about the people size, 36 million accredited investors. When you say accredited investors, these are people that have more than $3 million of their net asset value in a bank, right? Or in types of assets. So we're talking about rich people that make their financial decisions based on some documents. Whether AI was being utilized to prepare these documents or not, nobody cares. But this is a quality proof documents that has to be in order for those accredited investors to make a decision. So they don't make a decision on technical analysis. They don't make a decision on the Twitter chats, Telegram bots, and so on. They make a decision on a profound financial, legal data where you have to remove the risks and obviously show the upside. So this is exactly what we're building at Stobox, also as a side activity to us. This is a slide about just explaining what can be of those 38. It doesn't. This is just a number 38. Some brokers may require up to 60 different documents, and including enhanced due diligence on the founders and so on. So it may get complicated, but our main job is to simplify. Simplify. What Integra does is to simplify the onboarding, simplify trading management. Our goal is to simplify tokenization in general itself. And we can talk about this forever, about these documents, but we like to simplify and move on. So if you look on what we do and what we bring, apart from the platform that we have, actually, if no, maybe Shreya doesn't know, we were the first ones to build a decentralized exchange on Binance Smart Chain for security tokens. We did it with Landshare, our partner. That was back 4 years ago. So, we're building different applications, testing them, but our main, core remains the same: is to bring quality results to the tokenization space. So, if you look at what Stobox brings now, it's the Stobox Compass, the readiness score, the flow of the project, um, structuring, and obviously the match with a broker dealer. Whereas Raisable is the new venue just for the documents to be prepared and aligned with the best practices of regulators and so on. Ross, would you like to add anything here? You're quiet, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm taking all of the air of this webinar.
I'm answering their sophisticated questions, so thank you, Bruce, for your question, by the way. So look, to sum up, Stobox Compass, it is like one entry into their RWA, where you can do your free RWA scoring of your asset, receive your readiness score, and start building your project through the guidelines with the jurisdictional atlas, by defining the jurisdiction for your corporate structure and so on. So it's where your journey in tokenization starts. It starts from your free readiness score. And Raisable AI, it is their different project, different product dedicated to help you to prepare all necessary information and documentation that is required by a certain broker dealer for you to be prepared and to launch your fundraising campaign through a regulated broker dealer to add additional validation, recognition layer, and be connected with accredited investors or VC network in the United States. So Raisable AI, it is your entry into their document preparation towards their fundraising through the broker dealers. And Stobox Compass, it is your one gateway into their RWA, where you will be able to start your project, and soon we will introduce our partners network, and Integra will be a part of it as one of their recommended and possible blockchain for real estate tokenization.
Absolutely. So, with respect to Stobox Compass, it's again, we're probably saying the same thing, but it's the workspace where even before you tokenize, you put everything together, you build your data room, where you compile all of the documents, you get everything ready, and then actually you can if you're an issuer, you can do it anytime. Register there, start with assessment, start with the scoring, and we'll see your details, and our sales team and the expertise team of tokenization will come to support you. The next element, probably one of the last elements here, is the broker dealers. We are partnering with a number of them. When I was just securing one of the biggest ATS in the United States, we're working with the oldest one, now the biggest one. I cannot mention this name now here, but that's That's one of the biggest. ATS is alternative trading systems, like an exchange, but for regulated security tokens. And here is our value is we bring our clients to the US market through our processes, through our products, through properly wrapping and gating them to qualified broker dealers. So usually it's kind of uh, preparation of the project, uh, short list of the broker dealers, uh, passing the compliance, and we do the introduction. Because most of the issuers find it difficult to fundraise without a professional assistance, right? So regardless if you tokenize or not, you need you need the focus to attract investors. You need to focus to spread the word, and by working with accredited broker dealers, especially in the United States, that 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 problem is eliminated, and we're also helping our clients with this. So yes, it's our process looks like the following. So from idea to capital raise within 11 weeks. Again, that's a range. It depends, but it starts from the readiness core. Then we'll look at this. We help our customers structure. Raisable, that's now working. We work on this internally. It's not a fully live product yet, but we're already utilizing this internally. We apply all the documents, so actually prepare the case for our clients, shortlist with the broker dealers, and make them live. Make them live on any chain, but we're waiting for our Integra to launch a real world chain for real estates, and we'll be looking to tokenize on them as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So let me
Thanks, Ross.
let me continue from this slide to assist you. So look, guys, if in a standalone setup a few months ago it was from 80 to 150K, now to the Compass it is just through their subscription-based business subscription that cost $199. So through the subscription and through the Stobox Compass, you can get a free readiness score, your 10 questions diagnostic of your project, and start creating your project internally and structure the documentation, and then create the documentation through Raisable. And now we have 7 days free trial. So you can register app.stobox.io. I will duplicate their link once again in the comments. Yep, you can register, pass your free readiness score, and get their 7 days free access to their Stobox Compass and test how it looks like and what value it brings for your company. And soon we will introduce their wallets and tokenization features. So soon you'll be able to create their wallet natively in their Stobox Compass and prepare yourself to their technical issues of their security token based on our existing standards like STD3 protocol that we built, or Stobox DID decentralized identity that we introduced before, where we bridge KYC, know your customer, KYB, know your business, KYT, know your transaction, ML policies. So it's like compliance on air within the blockchain. So soon we will add their wallet system, and you'll be able to launch your security token from Compass, and add their tokenization layer with their programmable assets and with their token configurator and one-click deploy inside their Stobox Compass natively. So Stobox Compass becoming like one window into their RWA, where you start from your readiness score, then you can receive your full report based on your data inputs with all of the recommendations. to your project. Then you can create your project inside Compass with your data room and share it with your investors and start preparing the documentation. And Stobox Compass will guide you through their jurisdiction selection and so on. And then you will be able to move to their tokenization itself inside one product. So the Compass, it is one stack for tokenization and for the issuers to prepare your project and launch your STOKs. And we are fully open. We are now starting our seed round for the raisable AI and continue with Stobox. So in case of any your interest, please reach out to me directly by rs at stobox.io, and I will be very happy to send you their pitch deck and their following documentation on our seed round. But we as a Stobox, we fully opened and we provide this opportunity for our community, for people around us to participate in our growth, in growth of Stobox and traceable AI. So you can start tonight. Just follow app.stobox.io or stobox.io register and start your 7 days free trial with a free readiness score.
Yes, when you just mentioned about the round, I would like to add here that yeah, it's when it says RS Stobox IO, it's not an agentic, it's a full human response, which is actually will becoming a very scarce resource um, in the upcoming time. Everything is becoming agentic, everything. So by having the human touch in the assets, in the chain, in tokenizing, I think it's very important. So thank you for being a part of the human life of our webinar. Thank you, Shreya, for being with us, being human. uh, we'll see too many AI, but that's the precious of us being here. Ross, thank you for your setup, and look forward to you to be among customers of Integra and Stobox. Thank you very much for today's.
Yeah, thank you, Shreya, for being with us, and I wish a good luck with the launch of their Integra layer mainnet with your TGE. I see a lot of marketing and community activities around, and congratulations with your more than 100,000 of users in your testnet that is currently live. And I'm sure that we can have there are synergies from different angles, and soon we'll integrate Integra inside the Stobox Compass, and it will be a very solid option for the real estate clients that we have a lot to start from there.
Yes, absolutely. What you've built, I think, with Raisable and also the Stobox Compass as a platform, I think it really navigates anybody who's looking for tokenization and does not know where to start from. It's actually a very tough landscape to navigate. So this is a very great product, and I'm super glad. And I also look forward to kind of seeing Raisable also come alive and help a lot of tokenization players get to this space. It's actually really easier because otherwise, if you had to tokenize, there are so many moving parts. You need to involve legal, you need to involve and a tester, so many moving parts, and it's also very time intensive and cost intensive. I guess with the subscription, it's really easy for anybody to get started. So kudos for putting this together, and also the webinar. I really enjoyed being here. I guess this is the human part, as you said. But agents are also now speaking and doing webinars and podcasts, etc. So it's not far away that agents would be talking about a lot of things. But I'm glad we were able to chat as humans today. But it's always fun talking about tokenization.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for watching us as well. Thank you for the participants. Wish you a great day ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Definitely.